Hey, hi, hello, and welcome. We are here to talk about my January TBR, and that feels crazy to say. 2026 is only a couple days away. By the time you're seeing this, we might be in 2026. I don't know when this will get edited and posted and all that, but here we are. So I have done some changes to Danger Zone for the new year. The first is the board is entirely new. So here's a quick little preview, and I'll explain that more when we're back with the board. But because of the new board, I'm doing a reset. Any danger zones that were already on the board are being removed because it's a new board. I don't want to figure out how to translate that perfectly. At the core of it, I'm being lazy. So yeah, there's that. Also, because I've been struggling to find a consistent movement piece, and I've gone through like 3 different things over the course of the game, I have incorporated my movers into the game. So one of my favorite Pixar movies is Inside Out, and I haven't seen Inside Out 2 yet. I know, fake fan. But I was able to find these little figures. Now, they are little tiny Disney characters, and I have all the characters from Inside Out 2. And I have created cards for each character. So at the beginning of each month, I will be picking a character card, which will determine what mover I use for that month. And the other fun part about this is each mover has a prompt associated with it. This could be adding a book, it could be a gameplay rule, it can be, there's a whole bunch on there, and I'm very excited to launch into this part of my TBR game. And I think I'm starting to get something that I'm happy with. And I was already happy with my game. I loved it. But I think the little tweaks I've been doing over the last couple of months are making this something that I really, truly enjoy doing. And that's what this is all about. But let's talk about my December TBR first, even though it's not going to impact anything. Hang on, because I forgot to have things up. All right, so I had 14 books on my December TBR. I read 7 of them, and at the time of filming, which is December 30th, I am halfway through the 8th. Now, based on the rules that I established a couple months ago, I wouldn't have to add a danger zone for this anyway. To be fair, I also wouldn't remove one, but we're calling it what it is. So I read Queen of Shadows, I know, finally. Well, actually, The Things Gods Break, Kiss Her Once for Me, Bloodmarked, Everything is Tuberculosis, and yes, I did read Brimstone. Because if I didn't finish that in December, I was going to add a danger zone because a carryover that I still didn't finish, I deserve a punishment for that. But I did finish it, and I am like 60% through Neon Gods. There's still some books that I did not get to that could make it on January, or they could not. We'll see what the game does. Also in 2026, Happy New Year, I am participating in so many challenges. For year-long challenges, I am doing Romantasy Bingo by Covers with Cassidy, which started in November, and I've already got a couple books read for that, and I'm hoping to get more this month. I am doing Romanceopoly. I am doing the 26 and 26 by Bree at 4 Paws in a Book. And I am doing Leandra the TBR Zero's Map of Stories year-long challenge. And then monthly, I am going to be doing the Lost in the Library game board. I will probably film those separately, or at least the Lost in the Library. I kind of want to vlog the whole thing. I don't know. I haven't fully decided. But enough of future plans and prospects. Let's talk about who is going to be playing the game with me this month. So I'm going to shuffle my cards here. See, I am shuffling. So I don't know what is on top. And we are picking... Oh, I'm so excited. We got Ennui. I hear you're bored of the game. Roll a d12. Whatever number you get is your stopping point. If you hit that number, you can stop at any point without finishing the board. So when we go over to my game board in a quick little transition here, I will start by rolling a d12. That is the minimum amount of books I have to have on my TBR. I think it's a great way to start the year. So let's go do that. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is roll the D12 to see what our ennui bonus is. So I rolled a 1, which means I technically only have to put one book on my January TBR. Obviously, we're not going to do that. But it does mean that if at any point I get overwhelmed, we can stop. So let's do our first real roll. That is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Purple card. Roll the D20. Roll 1 is danger zone, 2 through 6 is back to start, 7 through 13 is draw a red card, and 14 through 20 is recommendation jar. So let's see what we got. I can't find my pretty pastel D20, so we're using my lightning one. That is a 13, which is draw a red card. And we got boost your score. Listen, you requested the books. That means you actually have to read them. Read a NetGalley arc, and for all that is holy, don't forget to review it after. So first roll, we got NetGalley, and of course had to drag myself a little bit because of all the arcs I have only actually read and reviewed one. We're working on changing that, which is why this card exists. I have selected to do a graphic novel for my NetGalley arc. I will be doing the graphic novel adaptation of Animal Farm that comes out on March 10th. So I will actually not only be reading it and reviewing it, but I will have it done well before the release date. So, hooray. All right, next roll, move the D20. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you go there. 4, a blue card. Model behavior. Choose a book that has people on the cover. Up next is people on the cover, model behavior. And I chose something that was the one book that I said this has to go on my January TBR or I'll probably cry. And that is Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. So in November, I reread Legendborn. Last month, I read Bloodmarked for the first time. In what is a surprising chain of events, I'm going to be doing my best to finish a series quickly. Well, not finished. There's one more book coming out in the to-be-determined future. At the rate of which they've been coming out, probably way too far to be thinking about. I'll be able to say I am caught up on a series, which at this point is good enough for me. So Oathbound has made it onto our January TBR. Next roll. 1, another purple card. Roll a D6. 1 is back to start, 2 to 3 is recommendation jar, 4 to 5 is spinner wheel, and 6 is move on. And we got a 5, so I will be doing a spinner wheel pick. Hello, editing court here. You can tell because I look like I have no hair. We got spinner wheel pick. And I never spun the wheel when transferring from rolling mode to picking mode. I have just done that. I'm going to make myself go over here real quick. And I will put a screenshot of the wheel right here. But I did end up getting Flawless by Elsie Silver. So this is the first book in the Chestnut Springs series. And one of my 2026 goals is to read all of Elsie Silver's backlist. So this pick couldn't have gone better, probably. Back to past me for the rest of this TBR. All right, next roll. Another 1, which is a red card. Doom scroll. Open Instagram, fight the algorithm, and go to following only. Read the first book that comes up that you have actual interest in. Next, we got our Doom scroll Instagram card. Now, this one I was worried about because I don't use Bookstagram all that much. I'm going to put the footage over here of me scrolling, And because I screen recorded that on my phone and I am filming this on my phone, I am gonna try to talk long enough so that you can see the entire footage while I'm talking and it's not just me awkwardly sitting here while you watch me scroll my phone. As you can see, I did end up finding someone's like 25 romance recommendations, something along those lines. And there were a couple series in there that I was very interested in. And I decided to go with a book that has been on a couple of TBRs. I've been failing at reading it, but it's one I'm very interested in. And it is one that one of my friends says will probably be my favorite of the series. So in January, I will be reading King of Pride by Ana Huang. Now in the graphic, it was King of Envy, but I'm twisting the rules a little bit because it is series based. And I know they're interconnected standalones, but I am morally opposed to being confused. I mean, it's okay if it's the point, but I don't want to do it to myself. Because King of Envy was on the graphic, I will be doing my next read in the series. All right, next roll. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't want to stand, buddy. There we go. Another purple. Roll a d4. 1 is remove a danger space, so it would be nothing. 2 is draw a red card. 3 is free pick. And 4 is move on. 2. So we're going to draw another red card. This is the game of red, apparently. Spelling is fun. Choose a book that can spell court on the title. Nothing like a little self-promotion. Then we got a little bit of self-promotion, as you can see here. On here, I put spell court in the title, but I meant to put anywhere on the cover because I feel like title is going to be really hard unless I just reread an ACOTAR book every time I get this card. Going with spell court on the cover, I have selected City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. So we have C-O-U-R-T. This is the first book in the Mortal Instruments series. And as a member of Silly Goose Lane, which is Tori Between Pages Patreon, we are doing a read-along of this series in 2026. For some of us, this is a reread. For some people, it's the first time. For me, it's a reread. And I have been wanting to reread these for a while. As you can actually, it's kind of perfectly framed. I have my whole Shadowhunter universe shelf right here, which is pretty much every book that has been released so far. I'm very excited to get to this and revisit these characters. We're going back, baby. Alec Lightwood, here I come. Next roll. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I give up on you. A free pick. And then we got a free pick. And I decided this TBR isn't chunky enough. I am using my free pick to put not 1, but 2 books on the TBR because I finally read Queen of Shadows and I am in love with the series again. I figured the best month to do this is January because work is going to be relatively chill. I don't have classes until like the end of the month. Realistically, I'm golden, which means it is time to tackle a beast that I said I would never tackle. I only have 1 book right now, but I will be doing the tandem read for Throne of Glass. That is the reading of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn simultaneously. And they're not small. I think I'm going to have a great time. Absolutely. So this is going on the TBR. My friend Manu and I were determined to finish this series in 2025, and one of us held us up. I'm not going to point fingers or name names, court, but one of us held it up. We are going to try to finish this up within the first quarter of 2026. Now, I will say, because this is a chunky, scary beast, I am giving myself grace. I am giving myself 2 months to do the tandem read. I don't know if I'll need it because I plan on this being one of the first things that I read in January, just because of not having school and everything. But if it's not done by the end of January, it's not a punishment. If it's not done by the end of February, it's a punishment. That's for future court to worry about. Right now, we're optimistic, and our hopefully final roll, another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. TBR complete. There you have it. That is the January Danger Zone TBR. I only own 3 of the books, but that's not terrible. This is absolutely doable. Ignore the fact that there's a book that's also this size and 2 other books that I don't have pictures of because one isn't released yet and the other I don't own. But we can do this, right? I think we can do this. I don't know what my vlogging plans are for January. I don't know what any of my plans are for January other than reading those books I just held up, plus the 3 that aren't on the stack. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with me. And I hope to try to become more consistent in my uploading. But December was rough for literally all of life. There was a lot going on with work. I was sick for 2/3 of the month, which is absolutely insane to think about because I was sick from the 9th until, well, I'm still technically sick. So more than 2/3. We are gonna jump into 2026 with new energy, optimistic. We can do the things. It's gonna be a good year. We're all here together. Have you read any of these? Do you think I'm gonna like these? Are there any you think I won't get to? Call me out. I deserve it. But let me know what you are excited to read about in January. And let me know what's a goal that you have for this year. Not necessarily a reading goal, just a goal in general. My personal goal is to truthfully read less. I know that's crazy considering what this channel is about, but I have been neglecting a lot of hobbies and I want to get back into doing things like watching TV, doing my craft projects. And I think this is the year that I can do that. If you've made it this far, don't feel like answering those questions, but still want to leave a comment to let me know you were here, leave some sort of storm emoji for the storm I am putting myself through in doing this tandem read. And I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is when you watch this, and happy time zone.